I have stumbled upon maybe the weirdest Christian TikTok account I've ever seen, and there are some weird ones, but this one just really takes the cake for me. Picture me scrolling TikTok in bed at 3 a.m., depressed, needing guidance. And what better time to stumble upon this TikTok?
So you don't believe in God anymore?
That isn't something for you to worry about.
Wait, young Sheldon proves God exists? Isn't he like famously an atheist? I know Sheldon pretty well, and from my understanding, he doesn't believe in God. But you know, I'm nothing if not open-minded, and people can change, so let's check out the talk.
Did you know that if gravity were slightly more powerful, the universe would collapse into a ball?
I did not.
So he's just rattling off science facts to his mom, and I guess the implication is that all of this stuff is so unlikely that it proves God exists.
Why are you trying to convince me to believe in God?
The precision of the universe at least makes it logical to conclude there's a creator. There are 5 billion people on this planet, and you're the perfect mom for me. What are the odds of that?
I would assume, based off of Sheldon's character in these shows, that he doesn't actually believe this. He's just lying to make his mom feel better, because Sheldon famously also puts other people's feelings before his. Or wait, are we sure this clip is from young Sheldon? No, I'm kidding. I know that kid Sheldon is, a little nicer in the show. He kind of grows up to be a prick, but when he's a kid, he's a little less insufferable. Lil bro cooked with that last line. Hell yeah, he did. Hell yeah, he did. Sheldon is insanely genius, and he knows it's one of the smartest, but even he understands more than most big scientists do. Oh. Well, that settles it, folks. I'm sold. I'm actually thinking of joining the church. I'm recording this on Saturday. I'm not wearing a watch. I don't know why I'm doing that. I'm recording this on Saturday, so I could go to church tomorrow, but I'm not fully convinced. I need to see a little bit more, so let's delve deeper into this account. Oh, it's Sketch. I love that guy. Hey, brother. Okay, so he's on Theo Vaughn, and he's discussing his love for Christ. Good for him. Everyone is allowed to believe what they want, and I have no problem with that. Oh, let's take a gander at these comments. You can hear it in Sketch's voice. He really means that shit. He's a changed person, can't dwell on the past. God forgives, and the only person who can judge. He is the best example for redemption and repenting. What is he repenting for? What is he redeeming himself for? What did he do? From my understanding, Sketch hasn't done anything wrong that we know of. Okay, I could have missed something. Let me Google it. Has Sketch sinned? So he repented for being gay? I just can't align myself with that. Nothing wrong with being gay, Nothing wrong with a man sucking some cock. Even gargling the ball sack too, if he's so inclined, Nothing wrong with that. Maybe even fingering the asshole a little bit of another man. As a man, nothing wrong with that if that's what you want to do, if you're kind of in the mood for some of that. I've revisited this after everything came out. God is good indeed. You can tell he means it, and God has really humbled him and changed him. God is speaking to us through Sketch's testament. That's so sad. Imagine Sketch, right? From what I understand, Sketch is a born-again Christian. Imagine your community, the community of people, the people that you're supposed to be able to lean on, to rely on in hard times, that are supposed to be there for you and accept you, don't. They validate that you should be ashamed of your existence, that your desires are wrong. From what I understand, Sketch actually went and did apologize for having a gay OnlyFans, and it's like, you could tell that he kind of felt guilty, and that just makes me so sad that the people in his life and the religion that he believes in, the God that he loves, he believes that they're telling him that he's not okay the way he is. That's fucked up. How can you be okay with that? Look, okay, I still really want to be Christian because of that young Sheldon clip, but I just didn't like that. So let's see if there's anything else on this account. I'm sure that was just a one-off.
Are you attracted to men?
No.
Why not?
Why am I looking at a Logan Paul clip right now? So there's a good chunk of Logan Paul clips on this page, and in most of them, he's sitting with this other guy who is apparently this Christian YouTuber and pastor named Cliff. So Cliff does podcast appearances, but I think he's most known for doing the Ben Shapiro thing where you go onto college campuses and debate with 19-year-olds. Because when you debate with a Paul brother and a bunch of college freshmen, it's a lot easier to sound smart than if you were to say debate, I don't know, someone your age. From what I've seen, this Cliff guy is certifiably insane, but apparently he is beloved in the Christian community. I don't know, all the comments are just praising him and saying that they wish they could be like him, which is like, well, okay, just become a 60-year-old white guy. I mean, what, doable. I'm pretty sure that Cliff is mentally ill. I'm allowed to say that now. Did you know? Ask Meta. Off topic, but did you see that convicted pedophile Mark Zuckerberg just got arrested for stealing tampons from the women's bathroom at Meta offices and selling them on the dark web? For shame, Mark. For shame. Anyways, let's roll the clip.
What if someone is hardwired the exact opposite way, by their God, and then not accepted by their God because God's book says we don't accept you?
Homophobia is sponsored by Prime.
I'm not valuable before God because I'm heterosexual. I used to go into protective custody and talk with a guy who kidnapped little boys, them, murdered them, and buried them. He has just as much value as I do, as you do, but he's messed up. But guess what? So have I messed up. And who am I to sit back on my self-righteous, arrogant pedestal and say, I can't talk to you?
But comparing yourself to him is like comparing apples to a murdering.
Extremely astute metaphor from Logan Paul, guys. Tap into this. This clip, if you don't think critically about it at all, you could maybe look at this and be like, oh, he doesn't hate gay people. But if you actually listen to what he's saying, he takes this example of a gay person and then shifts it into, I was talking to murderers and talking about how, well, a murderer's life doesn't have any less value than mine just because they've done messed up shit. So being gay is just as messed up as murdering people? Is that the implication, Cliff Bar? That's not love. That's not acceptance, not real acceptance. You can't walk up to someone and be like, hey, I accept you because I know that deep down you can change who you are. That's the opposite of acceptance, liar. You can't just say that you're not going to accept someone for who they are, and that's what acceptance is. That's crazy. What? Okay, here's one of our famous college clips. Queso versus Cliff. Except that's not Queso. That's just like a kind of overweight guy, like a normal guy. That's really fucking rude. That's really fucking rude. It is so fucking stupid to run a TikTok page about spreading the love of Jesus, spreading the gospel. We love each other here. This is about spreading love and acceptance, not hate. And then you're posting clips of homophobia. You're now just making fun of fat people? Like what? This entire page is just hating on Muslims, hating on gay people, making fun of fat people, and stealing clips from influencers. Watch Cliff humble as Muslim. Sexism in Christianity. Why is a woman valuable? Here's a good one. Why is racism bad? Very good question, Cliff. Dive into it for me.
Because it dehumanizes someone.
What's wrong with dehumanizing someone? Why is that wrong?
Because we're all equal.
Why are we all equal? You take God out of the picture, ma'am, and you're up a creek without a paddle when it comes to explaining why is human life innately valuable. Obviously, if there is no God, culture, individual defines people, right? So if there is no God, and you're black, and you're born at the time of the Dred Scott decision, you're obviously 3/5 the value of white folk. So obviously...
So basically, Cliff Bar is saying that because of the 3/5 compromise, it proves that God is real? What? I don't even get, his argument makes no sense. He's saying that culture can't define humanity because the 3/5 compromise happened. So that proves that God defines humanity. But then why did God allow the 3/5 compromise to happen? That was on his watch, if he's real.
Acknowledges that value is totally relative depending upon which culture you're living in. I'm standing here saying, according to Jesus Christ and according to your consciences, racism, sexism is absolutely wrong because all human beings have innate value that comes from God.
It's also like the end of the clip. He's like, your conscience is what defines it. the conscience that God put into you. So he can't even round out his argument in a real way. He changes his answer at the end, saying that it is your conscience, but God gave it to you, so it does prove it. No. If it's culture or God, those were the two options you presented in your own argument. And at the very end, you're like, yeah, it's conscience that God gave you. What if God didn't give it to you? What if, just as a human being, you understand that other human beings' lives aren't less valuable? Me personally, I don't need God to not hate women. If you need God to not hate women, deep down, you might hate women. Deep cut thoughts, I know. I don't want to listen to this guy anymore, but if you do, check out JesusIsKing.Savior. It's like 80% clips of Cliff Bar, and then a little bit of Logan Paul and a little bit of Chandler from Mr. Beast. Wait a minute. Is profiting off of other people's works a sin? Because from my understanding, exploiting labor isn't a sin, but if you aren't providing fair compensation and or you're unduly profiting off of someone's work that you took no part in, it is a sin. JesusIsKing.Savior, you're a grade A sinner.
Pack it up, retire, delete your TikTok account, you hypocritical, lying. You're canceled, buddy. You're canceled.
All right, let's peep one more TikTok before we finish the vid.
Halloween is the #1 time of year for the most human sacrifice to the devil on the planet. People go, that's ridiculous. Halloween's just about candy. It's not.
And that's going to do it for me. If you're Christian, that's fine. Just don't be homophobic. It's cringe. If you enjoyed that, check out this video I make fun of another TikTok account in. Other than that, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Hippo out.